Everyone, welcome replay viewers. This is Julie Jordan Scott, and we are here for poetry and writing prompts at the park. And I thought today I would try landscape mode. Right? This is landscape mode. I'm like, where do I look? Over there still? Yeah, I think I still look over there. Anyway, I'm at a part of the park where there are peacocks. So maybe today we'll see peacocks. We will definitely be reading from Langston Hughes. So I wanted to share with you a picture of the poem because our prompt is actually going to be pretty much from the poem. So let's see, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? I'm going to flip the phone. There we go. All right, so here we go. There's the poem. And how this is written is, the prompt is, I used to wonder, and then two opposites. And then I think the difference is, I used to wonder about blank and blank. So you put two opposites. I used to think about loud and soft. And then I think the difference is, and then one line. If you do this, you'll literally have a poem at the end of our time together. Come on. Okay. So, this is a fun way to explore differences and samenesses and how the two come together. And Langston Hughes did this brilliantly in a very short poem. Another thing about this book that I'm using, which is called The Poet's Choice, is that these poems were collected based upon the poet's choosing. So these poems are all favorites of their authors. And Langston Hughes says, Borderline is one of my favorite poems because it seems to carry within itself a melody which I can hear, although I cannot sing a note. Since this poem is like a song, its sound conditioned its saying. What it says is therefore so much of a piece with the way it is said that form and content are one, like a circle whose shape is itself and whose self is its shape, and which could be no other way to be than what it is. Then he goes on to say this, which I find very interesting, and for those of you who are poets, you might understand this distinction he makes. He says, I did not consciously compose this poem. It came to me, and I simply wrote it down and wondered where it came from and liked it. Possibly I like it because it was not contrived, inception having been outside myself. So there's some wisdom of Langston Hughes for us to share. I'm going to show you the prompt. Let's see if I can show it like this. There we go. So it's, I used to wonder about blank and blank, two opposites. I think the difference is blank. So that's what you can write with and play with today. Or even if all you think about are differences and opposites, that's great too. Part of the prompt aspect of this experience is really about being contemplative and thinking about the words and perhaps writing your own, although it is of course never a requirement. So, the pretty yellow trees in the background here. I'm at Hart Park in Bakersfield, California. I'll go ahead and start the reading now. Borderline by Langston Hughes. I used to wonder about living and dying. I think the difference lies between tears and crying. I used to wonder about here and there. I think the distance is nowhere. Welcome, Daphne. It's awesome to see you. I'm glad that you're in Perry Girls. Perry Girls rocks. And we have poetry here every day. I hope you'll come back. So Langston Hughes, very simple poem. I'll read it one more time, and then we'll read the prompt, and then I'll read it one more time. I've never done landscape. It's a little bit awkward for me, so I'm going to try to look at the camera more than looking at myself. I'm used to looking more at myself in the other view. But here, see, look, I thought you could see more of the park this way. Pretty, huh? I like the yellow. All right, so here we go. Borderline by Langston Hughes. I used to wonder about living and dying. I think the difference lies between tears and crying. I used to wonder about here and there. I think the distance is nowhere. From Langston Hughes. Glad to hear that, Daphne. Gonna back up. Did you hear those leaves come off the trees? That's music to me. Okay, so your prompt is about opposites. I used to wonder about blank and blank. So think about two opposites. Hold that in your mind and heart. What's the difference between hot and cold? I used to wonder about hot and cold. I think the difference is something different than what I've been told. Just throw anything out there. In fact, you could do this even in the comments if you want. But write it down, tweet it to me at Julie Jordan Scott. I'd love to hear what you come up with. I'll read the poem one more time and then we will go our merry way. Borderline by Langston Hughes. I used to wonder about living and dying. I think the difference lies between tears and crying. I used to wonder about here and there. I think the distance is nowhere. Borderline by Langston Hughes. My name is Julie Jordan Scott. I'm so glad you're here. It's so great to share part of my day in poetry with you. I'm a creative life coach. My work is about inspiring your artistic rebirth. I don't have leases on my trees. I'm in Bakersfield, California. Oh, leaves on the trees. I'm in Bakersfield, California, and our autumn is actually December. So the leaves should come off probably within the next few weeks. They'll be gone, and then we have spring in February. So it's a little bit different than, say, the Northeast or the Midwest of the U.S. So it's a delight to have you here, each and all of you. I hope you'll come back tomorrow. I also have a Yay Sayers celebration tonight at 10 p.m. Which you're welcome to come to. And tomorrow is Passion Activator Friday, which is where we do lots of productivity, get lots of stuff done. Yay, Daphne. I was just in Philadelphia and New Hampshire during Thanksgiving. So anyway, hope to see you again. All of you. Daphne, it was great to have your interaction. I hope that you'll write to the prompt. I hope you'll think about opposites and think about the differences and think about the samenesses and just play with that, just like Langston Hughes did, and see what you can come up with. Thank you, and as always, I look forward to the next time that we connect. Have a great day, everybody.